Ranking Member Graves, Chairman DeFazio, thank you for that last question to Captain Elwell. Specifically, the FAA does have what they need right now to implement the rule. They just have not implemented the rule on secondary barriers. That work was done in 2009 by a regulatory piece that they use for an advisory committee. The work's done. It covers 50 seats up to 777s and 787s. They are just stalling and not implementing the rule. I'm proud to represent more than 63,000 members of the Airline Pilots Association, which is the world's largest non-governmental aviation safety organization. We commend this committee for its leadership in guiding Congress to pass a strong, safety-focused, and forward-thinking FAA reauthorization. The true test of success, however, will be how and when the executive branch implements these life-saving advances. Frankly, we are deeply dismayed by the lack of follow-through. A few weeks ago, the United States recognized the 18th anniversary of the attacks of 9/11. Mandating the installation of secondary barriers is one of the most important, cost-effective security enhancements identified after the attacks. In the reauthorization, Congress called for the FAA to issue a rule mandating these barriers for newly manufactured passenger aircraft by October 5th, 2019. Rather than issuing the order as Congress intended, the FAA has bowed to a blatant stall tactic promoted by special interest and created an aviation rulemaking advisory committee, which, like I just said, they have already done in 2009. Secondary flight deck barriers are already protecting U.S. airlines. I know because I've flown the Boeing 757 at United, equipped with these security devices. The standard established at the FAA's request in 2009 is effective. No more study is needed. ALPA thanks the 110 U.S. House members, including lawmakers on this committee, who signed a letter leaving no doubt that they expect the FAA to meet their deadline. We have the data. We know what works. It's time to implement the law. In addition, the FAA reauthorization also prescribed the automatic acceptance of voluntary safety reports obtained through the Aviation Safety Action Program, or ASAP. ASAP is a non-punitive safety reporting program that allows frontline employees, including pilots, to voluntarily report safety issues. Right now, weeks pass before these reports are reviewed. Requiring their automatic acceptance means safety information will be reviewed more quickly, potentially preventing accidents. We have been waiting 3 years for the FAA to publish an advisory circular requiring automatic acceptance of these reports. Again, we know it works. Let's implement the law. In addition, the reauthorization directs the FAA to update its requirement for airline pilots to wear oxygen masks above certain altitudes. Currently, if one pilot leaves the flight deck while above flight level 250, the other must wear his or her mask. Because of hygiene concerns and a priority on using masks only in emergencies, the International Civil Aviation Organization established an altitude standard of above flight level 410, a change that ALPA supports. The FAA reauthorization directs the FAA to issue new regulations consistent with the ICAO no later than October 5th, 2019. Again, we know it works, and we urge the FAA and the U.S. airlines to act. Airline pilots are pleased that the FAA reauthorization maintains life-saving pilot qualification and training regulations. Thanks to this committee's leadership, these rules have helped ensure that the United States has not had a single fatality in Part 121 passenger flight operations due to a pilot training issue in the past decade. ALPA pilots will spare no effort in fighting any attempt to weaken these requirements. Through ALPA's affiliation with the International Federation of Airline Pilots Associations, we are proactively engaging ICAO to establish a review of pilot qualification and training standards given today's complex operating environment. We know, as do our passengers, that the presence of at least 2 fully qualified, highly trained, and adequately rested pilots on board our airliners contributes to a proactive, risk-predictive safety culture and is a major reason why the U.S. air transportation system is so safe. Clearly, Congress has the interest of the traveling public at heart in passing this FAA reauthorization. Others should follow your lead and implement as it is intended. We know that for our passengers, our crews, and shippers, every day of delay is one too many. Thank you for this opportunity for me to be here today.
Thank you, Captain Fox.